The green movement is a global movement dedicated to peace, so that's nonviolence, equality, so that's all kinds of equality, all humans are equal, sustainability, that's the environmental part, and grassroots democracy. So we believe that those 4 pillars are all needed to change society. You can't do one thing, implementing a low traffic neighborhood while you've still got corporations running the show. You're right, that's not going to work. All of those things have to go together. That is the green movement. The only way, you're absolutely right, the only way that we're going to see a tackling of the climate crisis in any sort of way that's going to keep us to less than 2 degrees of warming is massive public ownership, massive investment. But no major political party is committing to that. You'll see in our manifesto, we have costed, it'll be coming out very soon, costed investment for Scotland for massive upgrades to our energy systems, to massive upgrades to our transportation, our rail systems, and so on. So we have numbers behind that. We have that in the Scottish Greens. This is, you're absolutely right, the only way it can be done. And it's so frustrating for those of us in the green movement to see governments all over the world go, oh yes, it's an emergency. Oh no, COVID, that's actually an emergency. Let's do all these things. Let's house the homeless. Let's invest millions. Let's make sure that people always have an income. When actually the climate crisis is also an emergency. So we have to push governments to treat this as an emergency situation. And I think it's really nice how that's kind of summed up in what we believe in inside the green movement. The just transition, you will see that in our manifesto. You will see it costed in terms of what it means for jobs. I work in renewable energy. That's my real job. So I can tell you that this is certainly in Scotland. There's a huge scope for investment in this. Scotland could not only produce all the energy it needs, it could export as well. So this is something that we absolutely believe. And again, it's really frustrating because the big political parties don't pick this up. And again, it always feels like the Greens are screaming into the voids because we're the ones who actually have a plan in our manifesto that's going to do this. But fundamentally, we all agree that the structures underlying our society have to change. The public ownership and accountability must be in place, that huge amount of investment and that sort of working for the common good element. There has to be that equality, that all people are treated with humanity at all times. And there has to be that functional democracy, because that is the only way that we can keep corporate power in check. Corporations lobby governments and give billions of powers to parties like the Conservative Party because they have the power. There's this kind of idea that governments at the moment, oh, we can't possibly, because of the sort of market ethos that corporations will sort it out if we look the other way. They're not right. Governments do have the powers if they seize them. And that's why corporations spend billions lobbying governments. So we need government to take those powers on board to make those changes. And that's why I got into politics, because I can see that only politics can do this. Only politics can make the changes that are absolutely necessary.